teach you guys how to use the percent formula. There's something really wonderful about the percent formula. Really wonderful. Now, the percent formula has 3 elements. And these 3 elements are a percentage or a rate, a part or a portion, and the last item is either your whole, base, or total. Okay? 3 elements that you need to be a little detective on, and you need to find the percent, you need to find the part, and you need to find the whole anytime you get a percent problem, okay? Now, another wonderful thing about percentages is you can solve them with what's called the percent formula. Sure, there's more than one formula for percentages. I'm not going to teach you the business way. I'm going to teach you how to do the percent formula with something that is already familiar to you. We're going to use a proportion to solve our percentages. Now, remember, a proportion is 2 equal ratios. On one side of the proportion, your ratio will be the number attached to the percent sign, or your rate, over 100. And on the other side of the proportion is going to be the ratio of the part to the whole. Percent to 100, part to a whole. That's all you need to remember. Okay? Now let's look at how you use these. Now, the percent or the rate is really easy to pick out in a problem. It is going to be the number attached to the percent sign. Or you'll see the word percent, or you'll see the words annual percentage rate, or you'll see the word rate. Those are indicators that you have the percent. And remember, you take that number, whatever it is, and put it over 100 on one side of your proportion. Now, step 2, or the second thing you're going to look for, is any number that follows the word of is your whole. And we know that's going to go on the bottom, right here, across from 100. And your part is going to be your portion. It is the number that's followed by the word is, or sometimes they use an equal sign. So when you see is, or you see the equal sign, that's where you're going to stick your part, right on top, top of the of. So these are the clue words that you would use. You might want to just put right next to this in your packet an equal sign, okay? So this is how we're going to set up our percent proportions, or what I call the percent formula. So let's try reading a couple of percentages and how they would get set up. We don't need to really solve them, but we're going to go ahead and set them up as proportions. First example, 5 2/10 is 20% of 26. What's my percent? How much? 20 over 100. Remember, the percent's based on 100, so you have to write 20 over 100, since I'm not using the percent sign. All right, and that'll be equal to, what is my whole? 26. And the part? 5.2. So I will set it up as 5.2 over 26. Now, who remembers, how do I check to make sure this is a true proportion? Cross products. So what would I multiply? Which is 520. And then 20 times 26 is 520. So this is a true proportion. Guess what? You guys don't need to go, oh, Miss D, am I right? You can check your own answers. I love it. I love proportions because you can check them for yourself. Let's try this one. Kitty's new raise is 4% of her $800 a week salary, and that is $32. What's my percent? 4 over 100. The whole is 800, that's right. And the part is 32. No, they said weekly salary. Mm-hmm. Her raise is 4% of her weekly salary, which is $32 increase per week. $32 increase per week. Yeah. That's nice. Especially when you haven't had a raise in 6 years like me. So when you cross multiply, that's 3,200. No, not really, because she ain't really making that much. And 4 times 800 is 3,200. So I do cross products to make sure it's a proportion, right? How would I set this one up? 70% of 300 is 210. 70 over 100 is my percent. What's my of? My whole. 300. So 210 over 300. Then I would just do my cross multiplication to make sure I set it up right. Okay? Yes. This is another way of writing the percent. Fractional way of writing this percent is 70 over 100.
And then anytime you do the whole of the part, the whole is the denominator plus the numerator.
You got it. Here's a yum. I don't care. On a rebate, Jim got 10% of $1,300 price back on his new computer. The check was for $130. So what's my percent? 10 over 100. What's my whole? 1,300. And what's the part? 130. So you do the cross multiplications to check that you've set it up correctly. Now, wouldn't it be nice if percents were that easy? All right, when you're solving for a percent problem, one of those 3 elements is missing. Either you're missing the percent, you're missing the part, or you're missing the whole. So you keep your detective ears and head on, excuse me, and you need to figure out what's missing so you can set these up correctly. So you have to read your word problems carefully. Now, fine, 40% of 59, what's missing? The what? No, I see of 59 here. So the part is missing. So I'm going to go 40 over 100. I got to look for the percent first. And then my whole says 59. And I'm missing the part. Okay? Because I got 59. That's your clue word, okay, Elizabeth? All right, let's do another one. 84 is what percent of 75? This is easy. What's missing? What's missing? Okay, it says what percent? So 84 is, this is my part, of 75. This is my whole. The percent is missing because it says what percent? The percent is missing. Now this problem is probably going to be over 100% because look at the part. The part's bigger than the whole. So this is going to be over 100%. It's okay for some of your answers to be over 100%. What's missing here? The whole. Of what number? We don't know the whole. We've got our percent, which is 60 over 100. We've got our part, which is 32. 32 is. But we're missing the whole. The Ryan family made a 55% down payment on an HD TV selling for $2,500. Find the amount of the down payment. What's missing? Do you have the percent? What is that? 55. Okay? Do we have either the whole or the part? Which one do we have? The whole. We know how much the whole TV costs. So that's $2,500. So you're missing the part here. I want you to be like a little detective and figure out what's missing. Set the problem up. Remember, in a proportion, set it up, cross multiply, divide. You guys already know how to solve these. The key here is to set it up correctly. So remember, in the three-step method, your setup is going to be the percent formula, which is a proportion. That's the way I'm teaching it to you. Sure, there's other formulas you could use, but we're going to use a percent. Then you're going to cross multiply where you have two real numbers and divide that second product with whatever's left over. All right, let's go to the first problem that we set up. We said find 40% of 59, and your setup looked like 40 over 100 is equal to I don't know over 59. Okay, where am I going to cross multiply? 40 times 59. That gives me 2360. Then what do I do with the 2360? Divide by 100, which will be $23 and or 23.6. So to check this, you would just put 23.6 and cross multiply, and you should get the same product. You don't even have to ask me if you're right. You can check your own answer. I love it. Oh, I love it, I love it, I love it. I love when you guys can check your own answers. Okay, on this problem we said we're looking for the percent. And we had 84 over 75. Where am I going to cross multiply? 84 times 100 is 8400. And then I'm going to divide that by what? 75. When I do that, I get 112. Now, when you're looking for the percent, you need to remember when you give your final answer, you have to put the percent sign on it. If you just wrote 112 and no percent, you're wrong because you were looking for a percentage. If you put 112 here, it's okay because you got the 100 there. But if you just write the answer, you need to make sure you got a percentage sign there. That's just a warning. Any questions on this 112%? I sure would like 112% of my salary. That would be really nice. Really, really nice. Okay, in this example, you guys said that the whole was missing, and when we set it up, we had 60 over 100 is equal to 32 over, I don't know. Where do I cross multiply? 100 times 32, 3200. And then what do I do with the 3200? Divide by, no, what's left over, sweetie? We use these two numbers. What number's left over? Divide it by 60. And that gives me a beautiful fraction, 53 1/3. Because that 3 is going to keep going. This will be 53.33333 forever. So you should just give it in a fraction, and then you don't have to worry about all those decimals, okay? So your answer is 53 1/3. Now on this example, which was a delicious yum, we set this up as 55 over 100. I don't know over 250. I'm sorry, 2,500. Where am I going to cross multiply? 55 times 2,500. And that gives me 137,500. Now, what do I do with that 137,500? Divided by what? By 100, because that's what I have left over, which gives me 1,375. So my part is $1,375. That's how much I'll have to put down for the down payment. Do you guys get it? Okay, then solve this problem. Tell me the answer. Randy had 90% or 45 problems correct on his math test. How many questions in total were on the test? What's the answer? How'd you get 50? What's the setup? 90 over 100 equals 45 over, I don't know. And then what do? Cross multiply. 100 times 45 is 4,500. Then take that 4,500 divided by 90. I get 50. There are 50 test questions. Any questions? Okay, let's review. There are 3 elements in a percent problem. The rate or percentage, the part or portion, the whole total or base amount. To solve percent problems, look for the element that's missing. The percent formula is a beautiful proportion. Remember, in the 3-step method for solving proportions, which you will also apply to percents, you're going to set it up. Cross multiply, where you have 2 real numbers, and divide the product in step 2 by the number left over. Then you got to practice. That's the only way you get good at this. Any questions? Go to your packet and let's look at the first exercise. You guys have a pre-test and a post-test. I think the morning class was able to get the first one done, and some of them were not quite finished with the second one. Today's test? Yeah. I think they finished everybody finished the first one, but it is. They had a few questions, but for the most part, they were okay. So your pre-test is I, 3, Y, P, L, D, 14. Your post-test is Z, 5, X, O, D, W, Q, 6. Looks like your first exercise is on page 3. This is pretty easy to do. You're going to be a little detective. You're going to tell me what the percent is, what the whole is, and what the part is for each of the statements. So let's just do a couple. You guys can finish the rest. Number 1, what's the percent? 25%. What's the whole? 36. What's the part? 9. Okay, let's jump down to a yum-yum. On number 9, what is the percent? What is the whole? And what is the part? Okay, you guys can just finish that whole page out. Those are 2 examples for you. Okay, the next activity you have to do is on page 4, exercise B at the bottom. What does the instruction say in exercise B? What are you supposed to do? Tell what's missing, the percent, the whole, or the part. And then what does this say? Okay, so don't you be solving these. You're just supposed to tell me what's missing. Follow instructions. And the instructions say do not solve. Okay, number 1, 512.5% of 240, what's missing?
30.
The part. Number 2, 16 is what percent of 320? What's missing? No percent. Says what percent? Okay, number 3. What is 10.5% of 480? Parts missing. Number 4, 45 is 90% of what number? That's the whole. Okay, number 5, what percent of 160 is 64? And number 6, 75% of what number is 33? Whole. Okay? Now, this continues on the next page. Find 2.5% of 6,000.
So we're not solving any of these?
Hello? Hello? Not yet. That doesn't mean you won't have any to solve. Okay, number 8. 12 is what percent of 2,000? Percent is missing. Number 9, the Angelo family made a 15% deposit on a used car selling for $6,500. Find the amount of the deposit. Part. Number 10, there are usually 24 students in Miss Burrell's math class. However, on the day before Thanksgiving, no ideas, there were only 18 students in the class. What percent of the class was there? So we're missing percent. 11. Midvale, Question? Do not solve the problem.
All right, so I'm just going to put a percent sign. I'm not going to put a reference.
Honey, it's your paper. Long as you know what it means, okay? If you're going to do some code word stuff.
Because you're the one that said 11%. So
Honey, don't solve it. Just you do it one little step at a time. What's that song? Step by step. How does that go? Day by day. Is that a Whitney Houston? Yeah, go Whitney. Go Whitney. Oh yeah. Step by step. Don't get me started. Dwayne, do not get me started, honey.
you said 11%.
Okay, number 11. Midvale spends 4% of its budget for health care. Last year's total budget was $3,500,000. How much did the town spend on health services last year? Hey. Number 12. What's number 12? So easy. Percent. And as Dwayne would do it, he would just go like this to give him a code word, percent. Okay? All right. I don't care if you use a code word. That's your problem. Okay, what about number 13? Find the amount of the fee. I would say that is a part. Okay, number 14, what would it be? That's the whole amount, yeah. Number 15, what am I looking for? Percent code. And number 16, Yeah, original price. Whole. If you want the original price, that's the whole, right? Now, for those of you that were so worried about not solving, here you go. Here you go, here you go, here you go, here you go. Here you go. What does the instructions say? And follow all directions, please. If necessary, you're going to round to the 10th. So, on number 1, let's set it up. What's my percent? 90 over 100 is equal to, what do I have? I have the whole, and I'm missing the part. Okay, so that's my setup. What do I cross multiply? 90 times 90 is 8100. What is going to happen in step 3? Ooh, ooh. So I got 81. What y'all get? 81. I'm going to skip to number 3. How do I set up number 3? 45 over 100 is my setup. 36 is my part. And the whole is missing. Going to cross multiply at 100 times 36. And I'm going to divide by 45. Yeah? 9 goes here 5 times. 9 goes here 4 times. 5 goes once. 5 goes 20. What's 20 times 4? I got 82. And I mean also, not 82, the number. So we've done a part, we've done a whole. Let's do a percentage. Where's the percent? Number 4, number 4. Let's do number 4. I'm missing the percent. What's my part? 20. Okay, what's my whole? 50. How do I solve it? Where do I cross multiply? 20 times 100. Thank you, huh? Then what do I do? Divide by what? That's step 3. 1, 2, I get 40. 40 what? Don't you forget that percent sign when you give me that answer. Yeah, if it's already in the sheet, you can just put 40. But I was doing it on my scratch paper, so I got to put the percent there. Okay? All right? Is this easy breezy beautiful? Can somebody tell me, hi? It's so easy. Hey. Okay? You told me you missed me yesterday, didn't you? You tell me you missed me, then you roll your eyes at me. Now that ain't right. All right, you guys got some examples on this one. Let's go to some yum yum. Give me some yum yum yum. Now go to the bottom of page 8. Now, can I ask you a question? Does those two problems look familiar?
No.
Hello. Go to exercise B and tell me those aren't familiar. Hey! Now remember all those problems you wanted to solve so quickly and badly? Well, here they are. Solve them. Oh, y'all saw? Okay, all right. Okay, so I only got 2 people claiming it. Okay? 2 people claiming they don't know what I'm talking about. Okay? So let's set this up. What was the setup for number 1? We don't know, and 240. Okay? Okay, so let's solve it. Where am I going to cross multiply? Okay, so 12, I'm going to just change it to 0.5 times 240. So how much did you guys get when you multiplied that? So I got 3,000. Is that what you guys got? So 3,000 divided by 100 is 30. Did you guys get 30? 30. What'd you say? Jamar? We're at the bottom of page 8. Okay, come on, stick with us. You came in late. Sneaking in thinking I wouldn't notice. In your dreams. What's the setup for number 2? I'm missing the percent, right? 320. So where am I going to cross multiply? 16 times 100 divided by 320. Oops, I can only get rid of 1 0, sorry. This is a 10 here. And then this goes once, this goes 2, 2 goes 5. Y'all get 5? Hey, hey, hey. Okay, so finish the packet. Now, I had a couple of people complaining that they did not know what to do with yesterday's assignment. So, I'm starting with tomorrow. Yesterday's, I mean. So, my darling, where were you lost? Because I thought this packet was pretty easy. Okay, let's keep it real. This packet that you had yesterday is a review of everything you've done in my class except for 2 rules. So you shouldn't have had a problem with this packet. Okay? There's 2 rules that were taught to you or not taught to you yesterday. So let's actually keep that real. Now, I want everybody to turn to page 4 on yesterday's packet. Looks like this. And I don't want you to ever say that I never gave you anything. Okay? Because if you had taken the time to look at that page, you should appreciate that not only have I picked out what you should be doing in your conversions, but I told you how to do it, and I also gave you an example. So if you had read that page, you shouldn't have had any problem with this packet. Okay? Now, we know that a percent means per 100. So I want to know who have trouble with page 3. Absolutely nobody should have problems with page 3 if you know that the definition of a percent is per 100. What's the answer to number 1? Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7 was what? I thought I heard somebody say something else. I was going to say, what? What about number 9? Is there such a thing as 0%? Is there such a thing as 0%? Yeah, I've had 0% raise in 6 years. Okay, number 10.
Seem a little bitter about that.
No, I'm not bitter, but I do want y'all to know the truth. 0.38%. Oh, you guys did? Well, some students already did that for me. They signed a petition for me, but the legislature still isn't listening to them.
What if I
Okay, Yum Yums, number 11, what'd you put? It's 9 out of every cent, which is 100, so that's what? 9%. Okay, what about number 12? 27%. Number 13, 88%, and what about 14? Okay, so I'd like you guys to tell me what was so difficult about that. Well, why is it when I came in here, nobody could tell me what a percent was? It's not part of a whole, it's part of 100. Hello, class. What is a percent? Thank you. I know you guys, y'all know that I'm crazy when y'all don't give me the right answer. Okay. All right, let's go to page 5. Now, I'm going to write something on the board. And these are the 2 things you should have learned yesterday. Okay? I'm going to use Dwayne's shortcut for percent. Okay? I always do it like this anyway. If I have a percent, and your instructions are, give me a fraction, give me a decimal, give me a ratio. A percentage already has 100 in it. If I want to make my percentage a fraction, a decimal, or a ratio, I must divide by 100. If you were given a fraction, a decimal, or a ratio, and you were asked to give me a percent, what am I going to do? Those are the only 2 rules in addition that you should have learned yesterday from what you haven't learned so far. I've been teaching you since April 8th. Everything else that's in this packet you should know how to do, except for these 2 things here. Who threw that at me? I wrote it on the board and explained it to her. That wasn't her handwriting.
She could give us the answers, but she didn't know how She just gave us the answers.
I gave her a lesson plan with the times in it, so I cannot help what physically happened. But I also have to say that you should know how to do some of this stuff, okay? Okay, well, what did you do on this page, on number 15? No, it's not. It's in fractional form. Yeah, it's easy. So what you complaining about? Come on. What's number 16? This is why you have no sympathy. What about number 17. Okay, now how'd you get 95? Well, you could divide it, but can I show you a shortcut? I've got 19 over 20. I know that if I times 20 by 5, because I love to do multiplication instead of division, I'm going to get 100. If I multiply this by 5, what am I going to get? 95%. Okay? What about on number 18? You're going to get 20, because if I multiply by 20, I'll get 20 over 100. Or you can divide. It doesn't matter. Am I supposed to be sympathetic? Okay. What about number 19? If I take 6.5 and I multiply by 100, what do I get? Okay. Now you guys already know that shortcut from when we did metrics. Come on. What about 3? What about 0.47? You guys know these techniques. Nobody has to tell you. What about 2 3/4? That's the same as 2.75. What's the percent? 275. Okay, now look. Maybe yesterday y'all came back from a nice little vacation and you forgot what you already know. Maybe that's the problem. Okay? But let's get it back in gear and get focused. Because percent is something you guys really, really need for the future. Okay? Even if you don't take another math class, you need to know how to do a percentage. Okay? Decimal. We wrote to a percent. Now we're going to decimal. Now, who remembers a shortcut for decimals? When I'm dividing, I move what way? What way? To the left, to the left. Okay. Just break out Beyonce. To the left, to the left. Okay. What's 23? No, don't do no 0.83. In Miss D's class, you put a 0 when there's no whole number, right? Okay, what about number 24? To the left, to the left. Okay, what about number 25? To the left, to the left. Okay, and what about 26? You can put the 0, I'm not going to put it, but you can put a 0 underneath after it. It's the same value. What about 27? Okay, number 8. 28, I'm sorry. Okay, what about 9/10? That's written like this if I wrote it as a decimal. You got to move it 2 places to the left. And the decimal is right here where this fraction starts. So we're going to go 1, 2 to the left, to the left. Okay, any questions on the left, left? I'm pulling an Alex on you guys. He loves to play his music and be beaten down, okay? Any questions on 23 through 30? All right, now this is the one where students have problems because they see a fraction or they see the word fraction and they freak out. So don't freak out. Just handle your fraction. Don't forget to reduce. Okay? What did you get for number 31? Remember, if you're going from a percent to a fraction, divide by 100. Simplify it. Then we got 44 over 100. What can I reduce that by? And that'll give me 11 over what? Okay, this one's easy. Remember, that's 75 over 100 reduced by 25. $200 would be, okay, 8.2. How do I make that a fraction? Okay, so you converted it to a decimal first and got 82 over 1,000, and then you reduced it by what? Let's try 2 first. Okay, and this one we've got 2/3 divided by 100. What's that going to be? Keep, switch, and flip. 2/3 times 1 over 100. 2 goes once, 2 goes 50 times. How much is that? Correct. 1 over 150 is right. And then we've got 1 2/5 divided by 100. So this is the improper fraction of 7 over 5 times 1 over 100. And what do I get? Hey, hey, hey. You guys know how to do this. You may not know you do, but you do. This is 2/3. Let's work it out. 66 2/3 divided by 100. What's 66 2/3 equal to? 200 over 3, right? Divided by 100 over 1. Keep, switch, and flip. Just handle your fraction. Y'all know what to do. 200 over 3 times 1 over 100. Can I cancel? This becomes 1, this becomes 2, and I have 2/3. Hi, hi, hi. There's no guessing. Just go ahead and handle your division of fractions. Come on. I told you, you guys already know how to do this. You just needed this little bit of information right here. You okay? You good? All right? Now, here we go, here we go, here we go, 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 go. This is definitely a review of everything that you've learned in class. You should have no problem going from a percent to a fraction, decimal, or ratio, from a fraction to a decimal or ratio, from a decimal to a fraction or percent, from a ratio to a decimal, fraction, or percent. I give you 1, you give me 3. I give you 1, you give me 3. Shouldn't be a problem. So, on number 1, I gave you 13%. What's the fraction? Thank you. What's the decimal? Thank you. What's the ratio? Any questions? On number 2, I gave you a fraction. What's the percent? How much? Did I tell you guys to round it to the whole? Oh, I did. I would not have done it, but. So I really would have put 11 and 1/9%, but you guys, I did tell you to round, so if you put 11%, that's okay. Okay? What's the decimal? Okay, and what's the ratio? Any questions? On number 3, I gave you a decimal. You give me the others. What's the percent? What's the fraction? Reduce to? Hello? It don't have to say reduce. What is the fraction? What's the ratio? You can't get the ratio without that fraction. No, 17 colon 20. Why am I using a colon?
It's a ratio.
It means 2, but why am I using the colon for, my darlings? Somebody please tell me the right answer. Because it is standard form. Thank you very much, Ren. Anytime that you are given a ratio, you need to give it in standard form unless they ask for one of the other forms, okay? Whew, at least I got that answer right. Okay, number 4, I gave you the ratio. You give me the fraction. What's the fraction? Okay, what is the percent? How'd you get it? How'd you get it? Well, it's really 7 divided into 400, is it not? Okay. Why did I use 400 instead of 4? How do I make a fraction a percent? What am I supposed to do? How do I make a fraction a percent? This is what you guys aren't. This is where I got it from. You got to multiply by 100, so that'll be 400 on top. That's where that came from. Who said oh? That's the part you guys said you didn't learn yesterday. So I got 57 and 1/7, and you guys probably just said 57%, right? So then the decimal is so much easier to write once you have that. Once you have the percent, the decimal is easy to write. Okay, let's do number 5, and then you guys should be able to do the rest of these. What is my fraction on number 5, since I gave you the decimal? What's my fraction? Huh? You can do 98 over 10, but really it's 9 and 8/10, and when I reduce that by 2, I get 9 and 4/5, which is what I would prefer to do. What is the percentage? Okay, you just move your decimal 2 places to the right. And, gosh, I wish I had a prize I could give somebody. What's the ratio? 49 over 5. How did we get 49 to 5? Or you had the fraction 9 and 4/5. To get the ratio, just make it improper. Come on now. Nobody looked at my chart. I'm so disappointed. All right. I'd like you and your desk mates to finish this out. It's a piece of cake now that you've got 5 examples. And we'll go over the answers. Are you guys happy now? You're not happy? You didn't know you had it in you to do this problem, this packet right? I told y'all you had it in you. You got it in you. You just need to bring it out. This should be real easy for y'all now. 9, 11/2. Mm-mm. Okay, that's what I got. Let me know if you guys got something different. I did? Great. I just did those problems. I didn't look at the answer sheet. I don't have the answer sheet. I think I gave it to her yesterday. There should be one in the, did you guys leave them? Did you leave the answer keys in here? Or did y'all take them? Who was hogging them? Oh. Yeah, I don't have that. Well, that's the answers I got. Oh, yeah, she got paid. I'm sorry? And help them. Okay, well, at least she was helping. Okay. So what's her problem? You had a different experience than she did? Oh, okay.
It's hard for me to understand this shit, because, like, instead of normal math classes, like, because this is brush up, we go over something one day, and something next, a different day. I'm more the person, like, I gotta do stuff for a couple weeks, and then I'm like, okay, now I get it. But it's harder, like, when I go this, and this, and this, and that, and that, and that.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to ever find a class where you can go week, like, take a week on it. That was high school days, and even in high school, they don't do it anymore. No, not with my daughter. She'd be learning, I think she's got like they'll learn the same thing like for 2 days and then they move on. So, yeah, they don't do that anymore. Yeah, if you have the tutors might slow down. But I don't know of too many math classes that do that. At this level, let me say.